Woo! Alright, boys. I know it's been a long ass time. Let me just. I missed. But it's alright. Look, boys, I know it's been a long ass time since I've made a video. It's not my fault. Look, it is my fault. I've just been making excuses. But, well, the great stacked, I think it's UFC 319, maybe? UFC 319 stacked. We've got Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus du Plessis as the main event. One of the most greatest fights we can make this year. Other ones maybe Islam and Ilya or Islam and JDM. That's one of the bigger fights. But this is one of the bigger fights of the year. It's stacked from bottom to top. Like when I show you the early prelims, you're gonna be like, oh shit, this shit gonna be stacked. And it is. We got Aaron Pico making his debut, and I want to just tell you everything about Aaron Pico and how he is just not at the caliber of the UFC. But let me just start. This is the first fight, ladies and gentlemen. Brian Battle versus Nursultan Rozabayev, the guy who fought Joaquin Buckley. And yeah, Brian Battle wins. That's the first fight. And I'm going to just show you all my other fights, especially the early prelims. We've got the prelim fights over here. But one fight I'm very excited for is Chase Hooper versus Alexander Hernandez. I think Chase Hooper can be a top 5 level fighter. He just needs the time, he just needs to work, and he just needs to put in the effort. We're going to get to the main card. The main card, any fights that I want to just talk about. We've got the Jared Cannonier fight here. I think Marco Venom Page will win. And then we've got the GF Neal versus Carlos Prates. GF Neal versus Carlos Prates. Let me tell you why this fight's going to be great. Jeff Neal is a nice heavy boxer. He's going to come. I feel like Carlos Prates is going to pick him off. He's going to stay in the exact range. He's going to pick him off. When GF Neal crashes in, I feel like he's just going to give him a nice elbow. Just going to give him a nice, maybe like a, yeah, he's going to give him some Oliveira type elbow. Where he's just knocked the out. And I just think that's what's going to happen, I'll be honest with you. And after that fight, we have Aaron Pico versus Lerone Murphy. This is a fight I'm always interested in. I've always liked Lerone Murphy. Yes, his style isn't the most interesting, but his style is it's an effective style that wins points and gets you decisions. I'll tell you that right now. He reminds me a lot of Leon Edwards. Similar names as well, similar fighting styles, English background. I think they're both Nigerian, which is actually kind of funny. But I think Lerone Murphy wins. Lerone Murphy, in his last fights, has fought Edson Barboza. I am very disabled right now. He has fought a lot of people, which is actually pretty high level. And every single fight that Lerone Murphy has to do, he just has to level up. He has to level up a lot because he has in that promotion. He had Ilya, he has Fajin Movza, he has Fajin Max Holloway, Bulk, and you just have to get good. On Aaron Pico, you can't tell me the top 5 of Bellator. You can't. You can't tell me if they're good. You can't tell me if they even have a winning record. You can't tell me if they at least have a 5-fight differential between their win and loss record. And I'll tell you right now, they really don't. Lerone Murphy is making his first fight in the UFC. The UFC lights have always been different. The crowd is different. They're way higher. They're way more chill. Way more than a Bellator fight. And a fight even like Rampage Jackson has said there's a big ass difference. Rampage fought in Japan where there was way more people in that stadium. However, there's just a different atmosphere and there's more people shouting in Japan. They're more quiet. Still not the point. Lerone Murphy just is going to annihilate him. He's going to decision. He's going to win via unanimous decision. I feel like he's going to butcher his leg kicks. Whenever he comes in, I feel like he'll just spin off and he'll just go back to his jab and jab to the bodies and all that shit. I just think he'll pick him off. And by the time it's 15 minutes is over, Lerone Murphy will win. And moving on to the main event, we've got Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. This is very annoying because I like Dricus du Plessis. However, if you go through my history, I have picked her against him many times. I've picked him against him in the Israel Adesanya fight, and that's actually a baddie. But still not important. I think Dricus du Plessis will not win. Unfortunately, I don't think he can. I don't think his style is going to work. Unfortunately, we say this every single time as well. But I don't think Dricus du Plessis can stuff I think Dricus du Plessis can stuff Khamzat Chimaev's first takedown, his second and his third, but not his fourth. And these are all happening in the first minute. His first takedown, he changed to his second, into his third, into his fourth. And Khamzat Chimaev will win by... He'll win by a finish. Maybe a submission, maybe he'll just pound him out. After he probably got his back, he's flattened him out. And he'll probably just pound him out. Pound him out, yeah. Shit, yeah. But yeah, I think Khamzat Chimaev wins. You can't, unfortunately, we've known this ever since Khamzat made his debut. This motherfucker is a special fighter. This motherfucker will win. This motherfucker will become champion. It doesn't matter who it was. At the time, we thought it was going to be versus Kamaru Usman. And I still think to this day that Kamaru Usman would have beat his ass. I don't care. But Khamzat Chimaev will beat a fighter like Dricus du Plessis. He's not really known for his cardio. He does have great cardio. But Khamzat Chimaev has been working Sam Calavina, which is the greatest strength conditioning coach of all time. He works his motherfuckers to death. And I just think Khamzat Chimaev is going to have the same mentality of push, 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 with some cardio that's at a level, with some strength that's at a level. He's working with the same wrestling coach that he was working with the Robert Whittaker fight. I think he goes out there, takes him down after his 4th or 3rd train wrestling, and he just mops the floor with him. And he becomes champion like he was always meant to be. Alright, adios.